I have probably 6 videos to do right now. There's that much stuff I need to do a video on. And I've picked and choosed, or whatever, which ones I'm not even going to do. Like, I could do a video on that, but there's more important ones I need to do. Because I don't have all the time in the world to do them every day. And they're just piling up and piling up of videos I need to do. I'm going to do one now that is very interesting. Now, we all know that the SLV, which is paper silver, that you can invest in, just like the GLD, is literally paper silver. You got a 401k? Yeah, okay, I want to invest in SLV. You can never demand delivery. You can never ever get silver. You just have to assume that what they claim they have on their balance sheet as far as silver backing all of those contracts, those paper, or not even contracts, paper stocks, shares, that they really have it. So this is very interesting because as of very recently, they just added a whopping 572 tons of silver to the SLV. In other words, the SLV is claiming we just purchased 572 tons of silver, so now we can print a crap load of shares to go put out on the market. If you were SLV, which is owned by the elite, we all know this, and they had to go out and buy a massive, unbelievable amount of silver, whether they really bought it or not, their balance sheets reflect that they did. Are they expecting a massive rising in the price of silver, or people wanting to get in on silver? And if they don't have the shares or paper available for an oncoming massive amount of people getting in on the market, that means those who are currently holding the stock or shares, the prices would skyrocket beyond control. Because there wouldn't be enough SLV shares to go around, now would there? So they have to put out a fake claim that we just bought a whole bunch of more real silver. Yeah, right. But again, all they need is the claim that they did. Which, okay, COMEX and SEC, you guys, we just purchased 572 tons. Do we have the authority now to print 18 plus million ounces of, you know, shares, basically 18 million shares, because each ounce counts as a share in the SLV. Do we get the approval to add an additional 18 million shares to our corporation out for public use? Yes, you do. Okay, good. Why would they do that all of a sudden? Let me show you something. This is from January 08 to January 2013. And if you look on the far right, it looks like it's part of the chart, like graph. It's not. That line on the far right is actually right where my middle finger is, this line on the top. Look at the line all the way to the right that is almost touching this line, which is the almost 600 tons. Which, let me just move my hand and put my finger over it in case you don't know what the heck I'm talking about. My finger is directly over it. That was right now. This just happened. I want you to look back at the second largest, today being the first largest that I can ever see of purchases from them. Where my finger is now is the second largest purchase of silver that took place. And again, I don't know if they really bought silver or just pretended and told the CFTC and the rest of them, yeah, we bought some today. Can we get the approval to issue more stocks? Yep, okay. To put out the fire, so to speak, that's coming from investment demand. And again, these investors that go into the SLV are morons. You should be buying physical silver. And they will find out soon enough why that was a bad decision when it explodes in their face. However, that still is important because it is showing that people want silver as an investment. They're just doing it the modern way of, you know, getting a piece of paper that says I own it. Either way, it's showing you there's massive demand coming. So that chart I just showed you, the second one, the second largest, right where my finger is, that was back in approximately just after, it looks like about December or so. Late November, possibly December of 2010. So either December of 2010 or just before January, you know, roughly 2011. Wait a minute. January, February, March, right after this massive purchase took place, by the way, January, February, March, we had the largest jumping in silver pretty much ever seen. And it took it back to $50 roughly, $49 and some change. $50 silver. $50 silver. And they did a massive purchase just beforehand. So that was a telegraphing of, hey, the price is fixing to rise. And like they did then, we got to be able to put these fires out from the investment community coming in that we already know is coming, because they run the show. They see the numbers that you and I don't see. They know what's going on. Therefore, they will make their moves well in advance to deal with the situation, as proved right here. Proved right here. So we have a huge purchase taking place so that they can now issue a whole bunch more stocks or shares of the SLV. Only to be outdone massively, almost looks like twice as much, is this one. Almost twice as much, which just happened. Now, you don't suppose the prices of precious metals, especially silver, are fixing to rise again, do you? And old SLV and the club, the boys, knowing full well it's coming, are taking their move in advance like they always do to deal with, as I just said, the influx of people wanting to invest in silver by the masses. And again, they know most of those people will be investing via paper. And the SLV paper is the one of choice, apparently. It's how it's always been. So, those of us holding physical precious metals, we're going to be sitting pretty one way or the other. Does that, and again, I'm going to refer you back to the webbot. The webbot said it had been looking, and I covered this twice or three times now in the last, like, 2 months probably. It had been looking at data that says we're looking for some precursor events, 1, 2, 3, whatever. And when we see these things happening, we know soon thereafter there's going to be a spiking upward in the price of silver. And, you know, gold too, I'm sure, but silver was specific. And he said the other day, well, a little while back, we've hit 2 of those precursors that we were looking for. I am now expecting sometime in the very near future to see precious metals, specifically silver, prices rising. That's what he said, silver. This just happened in January, this right here, January 2013, after Cliff High of the webbot said, get ready, silver price should be moving soon, based off of the precursor events that had been hit. It did not know, nor was it advertised, to the best of my knowledge anyways, I don't know about you guys, that SLV was going to come out on January 1st or 7th or whatever day this is, and buy a massive 572, whatever it was, tons of silver. 18 million plus ounces. Again, it's probably just paper, but that doesn't matter. For them to control the influx of buyers, they just need to print paper. Print more paper, and if we have an even more influx, just print more paper. And claim that we bought real silver. And as the physical market dries up, they won't be able to keep claiming that, oh yeah, we bought some more silver, we got some more silver, and everyone's going to say, well, how are you guys getting all the silver to create this paper silver that you guys sell off as shares, when the whole rest of us can't get any silver, right? That's what would happen, and that would expose that. However, that's not even important right now. What is important, that I believe this is telegraphing us right now, the precious metals prices are fixing to rise. And if it was January of last year, of 2011, when I saw that other big movement, it caused the price to go from like $28 up to $50 in a matter of like 3 months, 2 to 3 months. And it's in January again that they just did another purchase. And again, this last purchase was around, it looks like December. It looks like December or so of 2010. And then we had January of 2011, January, February, March. And that's when from that time it went way high, and then they crashed the market. So we're in January now. We should expect within the next 3 to 4 months, I'm guessing, I don't know, the same type of thing. It could happen even sooner. It just needs to happen whenever it happens. These guys have the control. But they're gearing up for it. And I think because the amount of record-breaking Silver Eagle sales, the record-breaking amounts of people going into physical as opposed to other areas like, you know, the silver going to electronics and cell phones and medicine type of equipment, whatever, healthcare stuff, whatever, devices. may happen sooner than it did in 2011. Like, it took us 3 months to get to that spike. I don't think we're going to see that. I think it could happen faster. It would be in line with what the webbot says. So, if you don't have your silver, you better go and get it. If you were thinking, well, I was going to hope the price was coming down to $25 again, or you better get it now. Because that, to me, is telegraphing a big, big spike in silver. And it would be perfectly in line with the webbot, etc. And just so you know how to play this, if you're going to try to play it, you need to just keep stacking silver, by the way, not playing anything. But, according to the webbot, of course, it's going to spike. There will be a very nice size spike in the price of silver. It could jump to 40 like that. It could go from 40 to 60, he said. He's not sure. It's just going to spike very noticeably, holy cow kind of thing. And then there'll be a sell-off because everyone jumped in again. Little sell-off. Everyone was anticipating it, so it pushes the price back down. Not sure how far down, but I don't think it's going to go below where it's at. Like now. He just said there would be a sell-off, and then almost right away, skyrocketing again, and then passing the price it was originally at that everyone sold off at. So let's just assume, for pretend here, it's at $30 today. It goes to $55. Boom. Massive sell-off down to 45 bucks. 40 bucks. Goes down to 40. 30 today. Jumps to 55. Drops down to 40. And then a massive jumping in back again brings it to 65, 70 bucks. Something like that. I'm making this up because he didn't get specific. He didn't know. But this is an example of how it should be moving when it does this. Yes, you can sell off when it hits some kind of high where you feel like, hey, I think this is it. It's starting to come down now. And then sell off and then wait and hope, keyword hope, that the webbot's right and that the price does go back down a decent amount and then goes back up. And when it goes back down, you could buy again. The safest thing to do is not play that game. Buy it right now at $30, ride it up, smile when it hits 50, 55, wherever the hell it's going to go, 45, I don't know. Then it goes back down and say, hey, I heard about this. JSnip forward to webbot guys, they said this would happen. You are going to know it's going to spike back up again. So maybe you'll buy a nice little lump sum order when it comes back down again, depending on what you do. But this was extremely important to me today to see this. Again, the webbot said this in advance. And that is a signal to me they're getting ready to put some major fires out in the silver market. And the only way they can do that, because again, they do have the COMEX, but if there's massive, again, investment demand, investors don't go on the COMEX to buy a futures contract. Investors go and invest in a stock, etc. And the SLV is a stock that is backed, allegedly, of course, by physical silver. So if you have all this investment demand knocking the doors down on the SLV, we want silver. Sorry, we don't have any. We've already issued all the contracts we're allowed to issue. What would happen? News story, oh my God, SLV is fully out of shares, holy crap. It would cause a stampede. So again, in advance, they know where this is going. They're going to make their move quietly under the radar. Except if you're one of my subscribers, this didn't go under the radar, you just caught it. They'll do this in advance. We pretended whatever to purchase the 572 tons. Now we got the approval to issue 18 million shares, so to speak, because each contract is one share. Each ounce of silver that they buy equals one share. So if you bought 10 shares, you allegedly bought 10 ounces of silver, so to speak. That means they have the authority now to issue 18.3, I think, million ounces. So 18,300,000, whatever, ounces of paper contract, or keep saying contracts, stocks. This, by the way, is huge, and you're fixing to find out why.